start, how is Mark doing today?
Uh, he's doing all right. We'll keep him as day to day. He wasn't able to finish the game. We know that. So hopefully he's better tomorrow and ready to go.
Any residuals with Braden?
Nope, he's doing okay. He'll be should be ready to go as well. We're optional today. They chose to stay off. Those guys. A couple guys went on. So we'll see how they are in the morning. Saad is not on the ice today, so we'll keep him as day to day.
Last night, your group really kind of rallied when Mark left. I guess maybe can you just give us a thought on, if you have to play with him, how much they will kind of rally to try and pick up that slack?
Well, he's a big part of our team, and we weren't sure on McNabb. It was the same thing. They want to push through to give guys opportunity to get healthy and help us. We're a tight-knit group. I think most teams this time of the year are still playing, and those guys have been together a while. They've been through a lot. They've won together, lost together a little bit. So that certainly factors in that they want to give them every chance to rejoin the team, and we're hoping that'll be tomorrow. We'll see. So that's their mentality.
He provides so much more than just on the ice. I guess how much do you miss if he's not around?
Well, listen, he is an emotional leader, but we have other guys that. That's our team. I think there's a lot of that in the room. Other guys can pick up that part of it. It's hard to replace what he does on the ice, but we've got lots of good players and guys that have been in and out of the lineup, so we'll see different guys step up. And I think it sounds like a cliche, but it happens this time of year where that's it. It's a hand you're dealt if that's what happens, and I think our guys understand that, and good professional group, and do what's required in the moment.
McNabb never misses a game anyway. You weren't surprised when he played. He almost never misses a game.
Well, I think he's played 3 years in a row every game. But that one, listen, we all saw it. It's an awkward spill, so you don't know. But he's just one of those guys that he's a fast healer, or he's a big Western Canada kid, tough kid. That shows up to play every day and has been fortunate. When you play the way he does and not miss a game for 3 years, that tells you something about your resolve to be in the lineup. But also, you've avoided some things too, because he blocks so many shots, and there's a lot of guys that eat pucks, but they get one in the wrong spot. But good for him. Helps us a lot.
You were able to get the win last night, but as a coach, when you're losing your captain during a game, is it adding to the challenge because you're also losing an important voice on the bench?
Yeah, but I think in the moment you just play. You just play, and we listen. It's 2-0. We got to get going and sort of put the brakes on what they're doing and get back to our game. So it was a big goal by Nick Waugh. We were able to create a turnover in the neutral zone and get going the other way, and so that kind of quieted things down. And now we can settle in and play, and because it got loud in there, and sometimes that can get to teams. And but for us, we've been through it a little bit. So and in this building too. So we got back on our feet, and we would have liked to see him come back. That didn't happen, but you can't worry about that. I don't think anybody's sort of saying, "Hey, don't," you know what I mean? You just hope to see him walk back down the tunnel. It didn't happen, so you just keep pushing. Other guys, like I said, Riley Smith's the right winger, got a little more opportunity, took advantage of it.
How chaotic is it when you're trying to call out the lines when you're down a forward and you obviously going with different combinations?
Well, that's where I talked to Dom and Wardy. We got to keep an eye on. Barbie's going from right wing to left wing. Nick Waugh was in the middle right wing. Hertl's going left. You know what I mean? So they have to know who they're changing for, and it's force of habit. You might be changing for a left winger that's Howie. That's now so good on them to focus, and we had to. It's more than normal. Let's put it that way, and especially when it's loud. My voice wasn't great, so it's important that the coaches help you with those changes. So. And they did. They did a good job. We didn't get in trouble. I don't think we're late on any. We weren't scrambling with 6 guys out there. So, good on us for keeping it coordinated.
You liked your defensive game. Did you like the offensive game in zone specifically?
Well, it ended up being some rush chances both ways. I'll look at the first goal. It was off the rush and neutral zone turnover that we were able to transition. It turns into offense, I guess, but it's a quick strike to the net. Smitty's, pretty good individual effort. The last one's a Carly rush, so who am I forgetting? The third goal was a rush too. We got them. We caught them in a line change. They were tired, fatigued, and that's the second period momentum. That's where the ozone came in handy. We wore them down probably for whatever it was, 35 seconds, right? So yes, did I like our ozone game? Did it directly translate to an ozone goal? But it's getting better. I thought we had some looks. Hertl was from ozone. His 3 or 4. He had one there in the second period. I think it was a shot off Olesen in the slot, got a rebound. So those are the things you want to do if you can't get the rush game going. Both teams have had a little bit go like they scored off the rush, Perry. So you're going to get some looks, but you need that part of the game this time of year, and we were able to do it because our power play didn't come through for us. So yes, it's getting there.
Do you mentioned Hertl's close, and do you think like you kind of need him to push through, especially with?
Yeah, I mean he's getting his looks. So I mean, listen, sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't, and if you're going to advance, eventually they have to, and you can go through a lot of players for that. But if they keep getting them, guys that are proven scorers in this league, eventually go in for you. Over time, you might have a 3-4 game stretch. It doesn't. That's why things get magnified in the playoffs.
You mentioned Riley stepping up in the opportunity. What has he shown you to give you the confidence to give him that opportunity when it arose?
Well, he showed me 2 years ago. He's been in a Golden Knights uniform, so there's previous experience. Relationship with Carlson. He's got those two read off each other well. And he was in attack mode. Like the first goal, we need to do a little more of that. We need to challenge their D. Barbashev did it the other day to Bouchard late. We've got to do a little more of that when the situation dictates. You don't want to be a team that's 1-on-4 all over the ice, but if you have a 1-on-1 with a defenseman, go at him. You can draw a penalty. As long as you're doing it the right way, a lot of times the puck ends up deep anyway, so why not take some? And those were forwards. Sometimes having the mindset of looking up and you got a forward playing D a little bit, maybe that's the time to expose a guy or at least try him. And good on him to do it. So those are the things I look for Riley. Get inside. When he plays inside, like even the last goal, he's going through the middle of the ice. Now he's a pretty effective player.
It happened in Minnesota, but can game-to-game momentum be a thing?
Well, I think so. I think Edmonton got on a roll against LA, but I don't look at it from their perspective of they're going to be ready to play Game 4. For us, we're building on something that we felt played well enough to win Game 2, did win Game 3, even though we got behind. We're doing things better than we did in Game 1. So that's where we can build our momentum if we keep understand how our game's getting better, especially the checking part of the game. It's been pretty good the last 2 games, and we have to keep that mentality against a good offensive club.
Bruce, did Mark get hurt when he fell down and he was kind of run by Perry, or was there another instance that? Because he played 3 shifts after that.
I think he went into Perry there and it was awkward and he tried to play through it, and that's all I know from what I saw. Would be my best guess on that question.
Playoff games, there's a lot around the league. They're 4-3, 5-4. There's not many 2-1 games.
It's changing a little.
Is it the shooters are just better than the goalies, or what's going on?
I think the shooters are more selective now with their shots. So you're seeing is a lot of goals on low shot totals. I don't think teams waste shots anymore. I mean, there's certainly high volume shooting teams. We know who they are. Do they change their approach in the playoffs? I know it's Florida, Carolina, them. I don't know. I'm not watching it close enough, but I think that's what happens when everyone checks so hard and tried to eat every puck, that when you do get a look, it's probably a pretty good one. So I think that's what's happening, and the goalies are kind of taking the brunt of it.